With me right now is Salil Parekh, the CEO and MD of Infosys, and we're coming to you live from the India Business Leader Awards. Salil, thank you very much for joining in. I know it's coming just less than a month after your quarterly numbers, but after your Infosys numbers, many of the other IT companies reported their numbers, but the picture was not as bad as what we saw in the case of Infosys, right? You've reported a decline across sectors in North America. Can you tell us specifically what went wrong with Infi? Because as I said, the picture is not as bad with the rest of the IT companies.
So today, the focus is more on the award function. We shared what we had to share at the end of the results. The next update will come when we do our next quarterly. Overall, what is clear for us is the focus is, as we look ahead, there's enormous attention on generative AI. There's a lot of work going on automation, on cost, on efficiency with clients. So we'll continue to focus on that. And today, I'm really delighted to be here at your award function.
No, we're very delighted and, congratulations on the award as well. But can you talk a bit about generative AI, the top 3 ways how this is going to change Indian IT? Perhaps in terms of jobs, democratizing it, maybe in terms of productivity, passing on benefits, the way you see generative AI impacting Indian technology. Top 3 things.
So generative AI, there are multiple ways it will make an impact. One, there are open source generative AI platforms. We are working with 2 of them where we are putting all of our software development tools onto the platform, which then creates further efficiency and benefits for our developers. So that's a huge impact we'll start to see in productivity. Another way is when we work with clients where they're using generative AI, whether they're using open source or other platforms, to make improvements within their portfolio and environment. So for us, generative AI is a very critical technology which will start to make an impact. We've been fortunate. We've been working with generative AI for about 2.5 years on the open source platforms.
And you see a big boost to productivity on account of this?
We are already seeing an impact on productivity. The way to look at it is how broadly can these tools be used in development. So the more standardized either the client environment is or our environment is, the simpler the way to use this tool and the more impact you can have.
How many of your employees are currently trained on generative AI to use those prompts?
So it's not a question of training on generative AI, it's the open source platform that we have to feed with this large language model. Once that, training of that model is complete, then you start to use it because the tools are what we are already using for development. That's how the benefit will come.
And when do you think we will be able to have a large scale across the enterprise kind of an impact? Is it 2 years? Is it 3 years down the line? Or can it happen even earlier?
So the impact, for us, we are starting to see the impact on many development programs. And more will come, as each quarter, each year progresses. So there's not like one milestone where everything will suddenly shift, but it's an incremental impact.
Will we see job losses on account of generative AI?
In fact, we think we will see, like all technologies, more people who will be engaged in these things because the spectrum of what is addressable expands when you use generative AI. So typically you see more and more impact on that.
At the lower end, can we see job losses?
There again, our experience from the past is any automation, you sort of enable more areas to have focus on, and we'll see more growth.
So complementary. Just one more question. Now, in your avatar as Infosys and even prior, you've seen many technology cycles. How would you rate the current cycle that we're in?
So all tech cycles have an element of disruption and have an element of continuity. What we see with large enterprises is many previous technologies still exist and the new technologies integrate. So typically that's the approach we see with large enterprises.
No, and in terms of a slowdown?
There it depends on how the economic environment will develop. We'll see how it is out.
Early days then, to call it, if this is going to be a deep entrenched slowdown or is it going to be a...
Yeah, so we will see how the various factors, whether it's in Europe or in the US environment, what the economic impacts are.
Salil, thank you very much for joining in. Enjoy the function.
Thank you very much.
And it's back to you in the studio.